Hello everyone, nubkeks here. Welcome back to Nub Raids, where Noldua, the Gloaming, her fragment event has just kicked off in game. We've got the fragment event calendar, and I'm going to walk you through how to do it. And yeah, I mean, that's sort of the key stuff. This is how we're going to do it and what you're going to be aiming for. At a quick glance, I can tell you this looks to be incredibly easy, actually. And I think that Noldua herself is actually very solid. She's very, very good. And she was actually even, you can see my showcase I did on her yesterday, a bit better than I expected her to be. That A1, which can place Enfeeble, whenever you play on manual in, let's say, live arena, or if you're trying to push up in tag arena or whatever, being able to enfeeble someone pretty consistently actually won me loads of fights. I encourage you to check out the video. And of course, she's got our partner champion in SOLANAR. We don't know how you'll be able to get him, if you'll even be able to get him. But if you ever do get lucky and pull him, obviously the two of them together are looking to be incredibly strong. So she's almost worth picking up just for the... I think anyone who's like mid-game or onwards, it's worth picking her up just in case you ever pull SOLANAR. And then I think if you're early game... I mean, she's such a great generalist champion that she's worth fusing early game as well. I just don't see that many players for whom it makes sense to skip this fusion, to be honest with you. Obviously, there's a vocal minority people who hate doing every fusion, and for them, yeah, sure. But for most people, it's a fusion that's you should probably do, to be honest. We also have got personal rewards CVC kicking off tomorrow. I will be here when that goes live to stream. So yeah, I will see you guys for CVC. Is it Valentine's Day? Oh, it's almost. This is going to be like our Valentine's Day stream. It'll be a romantic CVC. Personal rewards. It should be a good laugh. Yeah, I guess I'll see you guys for that. I'll be streaming for like 2 or 3 hours. And yeah, I'll be grinding up points and chatting about all things raid. Okay, right. That's all the setup. Let's dive into the good stuff. So the first thing you need to know is our 130 fragments available. Now, 20 of those are from tournament leaderboards. We can basically say, forget about those. So it's not happening, right? And then you could basically say it's not actually 130. It's actually 110. If you're the sort of person that is capable of winning leaderboards, you'd have to win either champion training or win champion chase. Good luck. If that's you. If it is you, you can obviously adjust your plans yourself. For the purposes of this video, I'm going to assume that obviously you're not easily going to be in a position at all to win these. So we'll assume that you won't. Okay, now let's look first of all at summoning events. So we have, we've got a champion chase tournament coming up this weekend. And then we have a Heroes Path event, coming the following weekend, which is taking place of Summon Rush. This includes Summon Rush. And the interesting thing about this, and why I think this is actually looking very easy, and sorry, I'm going to jump around here a little bit. Let me put this in red. Gear Hunters. Gear Hunters. There you go. That's the key thing. Gear Hunters, effectively what used to be Dungeon Divers. Often, there are 3 of these per fusion. And they are a huge sink of energy. Well, this time around, there's literally only 1 Gear Hunters. It almost seems like there's an error, but no. There's only 1 Gear Hunters, and it's right at the start. The second Gear Hunters is appearing as part of this Heroes Path, but it's also in there with the Summon Rush. So you might even not need to do very much Gear Hunters. Alternatively, it could be an extremely expensive Heroes Path. We're just not quite sure, to be honest. I just got I think this is properly up to date. Let me know if I've missed any of these, but I'm pretty sure this is right. The last 4 2x events, we had 2x Ancients, 2x Primals before that, which is sort of a bonus one. I guess we might see. In 2026, they could include Primals in the usual 2x rotation. In 2025, it happened 3 times in the entire year, and they're sort of bonuses. We had 2x Sacreds before that, then 2x Voids. So we are due for 2x Voids over here. 2x Voids. 2x Voids is, well, it's been a while since we've had one. Obviously, Void Shards are incredibly difficult to get. But yeah, it's not absolutely awful. 2x voids is typically the time most people are saving and pulling up their void shards anyway. Because progressing through the game, you want to be getting the epics. The void epics are super helpful. And just trying to get as many void legendaries as you can. At least they buff them quite frequently as well these days. But yeah, 2x voids. For 2x, let me bring it up here. Okay, so here you go. In a 2x voids, it's approximately 100 points per shard, though it can vary quite a bit depending on your luck. And in the Cassandra fusion, it was about 2,500 points for the 2x champion chase. You're looking at about, roughly speaking, 25 void shards. Now, that might vary slightly, of course, and it will obviously depend because it's a relatively small number of shards in the grand scheme of things. Like the 100 points would be calculated off, thousands and thousands of shards, not just 25. But you're looking at about 25. Could be more, could be less, but around that, we'll put about 25 in brackets. So there you go. That's the rough number to aim for. Now, also with Champion Chase, you can obviously, if you're progressing in Grim Forest or Cursed City on hard difficulties, you can save up your remnants. Something that is very important with Void Shards is to save up these Void Rares to fuse up Broadmaw. Because he's in Void Epic, he counts for 350 points in a Champion Chase event. A normal Epic is 250. A normal Legendary is 500. I mean, 350 for fusing up this Void Epic is almost as much as pulling a Legendary. I mean, not quite, but it's close enough. And it really adds up. Obviously, any login champions, any fragment champions that you've got, all of that stuff will add up and will help towards getting those points. So yeah, approximately 25 void shards, but you could mitigate that quite a bit. And it's roughly what you're looking for. You can only, by the way, skip 10 points. So you cannot skip the entirety of this champion chase. Now, if they split, which they might well do, if they split the fragments 5 and 10, that might be worth going for. So I'll actually put, I'll put like a, put this off, question mark, skip, skip 10, question mark. Sorry, this is quite bad writing, but if you are able to skip 10 of these fragments, and you might get away with a mere like 10 void shards or something like that, or even less, maybe just a couple of Broadmaw fusions, you might get away with very low investment and be able to save as many shards as possible for this hero's path over here. Because again, you can only skip 10 fragments. There's 25 in here. You'll need to get at least 15 fragments out of this hero's path, and it's hard to know exactly what that will entail. So yeah, that would be sort of my thoughts over there. Then the summoning events, this is by far the most complicated part of this fusion, because let's dive into the rest of it. Okay, first up we've got 3 gear enhancements. People can find those somewhat tricky. They're not really that tricky. You're going to be looking at, I don't know, 20 million silver to be safe-ish for each one. It obviously varies a little bit, but you basically want to save up your silver for every single gear enhancement. It's a simple rule. Never, ever roll up gear outside of gear enhancement, and stop rolling up gear as soon as you get the fragments from it. That's it. That's the rule. It's that simple. Now, once you've built up a really good stockpile of silver, then you can be more reckless. You can do what you want. But if you're struggling with gear enhancement, ask yourself, well, am I rolling up gear out, am I breaking that rule? And if the answer is yes, well, there you go. There's the answer. It just needs a bit of self-control. It's that simple. Obviously, you can farm Spider is the best way to farm silver. But the event dungeon's also pretty decent. And yeah, you're going to be earning quite a bit of silver over the course of this event as well. So yeah, just save your silver. That's it. That's literally all there is to it. Is it difficult? Not really. But, that's sort of where we're at. We've got 2 classic arena takedowns. These are the easiest thing. Just do your classic arena fights. This might not work if you're in bronze. A little tricky if you're in silver, but if you're in gold classic arena, so long as you're actually just doing your fights every day, you should basically get these done for free. So those are sort of freebies. Cool. We'll see if they ever update classic arena. It's I don't know. They've talked about buffing obviously the gear sets from platinum, so they might be trying to incentivize people more for pushing for platinum classic arena. But other than that, I think classic arena is basically dead content, so I don't really expect anything to really change there. And then we come in, let's look at the gear events. We'll put these in red as well. We've got Ice Golem. Now, this starts today, and this starts lovely, overlapping with Gear Hunters. So it's the perfect time to do it. Now, Gear Hunters does end over here, but we also, when we'll put this up in purple, we also have personal reward CVC. So in fact, we're making this a bit more complicated. What we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, we actually want to go like this. So what you want to do today, get Ice Golem, as much of it done today as you can. Ice Golem is one of the slower dungeons. It's not very good for personal reward CVC. So it depends how hardcore your clan is about personal reward CVC. If you're going to be going pretty hardcore, you really want to be farming the event dungeon or spider hard 10, or just spider, I suppose, in general. You want to be farming one of those faster dungeons that's better for giving you silver and actually useful gear to roll up. You want to be farming that stuff during CVC while still getting Gear Hunters. Once you finish Gear Hunters, you could then just farm Sand Devil or Phantom Shogun instead if you want. But those are the most efficient ways to spend your energy. Spider and the event dungeon have the benefit that they will give you some gear to roll up as well, because rolling up gear is incredibly impactful for CVC, basically doing some gear enhancement. And in fact, it all overlaps lovely on pretty much on Tuesday as well. The gear enhancement should have kicked off. So yeah, you can sort of triple dip, but basically try to get Ice Golem done early. If you're not too hardcore about CVC, you can just run it during CVC, that's fine. But bearing in mind, it is a slow dungeon. You want to finish this Ice Golem tournament and then farm a faster dungeon, probably to finish Gear Hunters. So that would be my rough advice. Do we have actually a 2x in game? I guess the tournament hasn't started yet, right? Let me double check. Okay, so by the time this video goes out, you'll see. I mean, if there's like 2x reflex gear, it's not so bad. Let me actually check. Maybe we do have news on that, actually. We did actually have some news. I don't post the gear news, but it's 2x cursed set from Ice Golem. I don't think it's that crazy to farm. Again, it's pretty good if you're early game, get some cursed gear. It gives you a chance to place Hex. It's very good for Hydra, but it's not essential to get more than a couple of sets of it, maximum, really. So yeah, there you go. Again, the same rule applies. If you're early game and you're pretty chill about CVC, farming Ice Golem the way through is fine. Otherwise, yeah, you get the gist. Spider doesn't kick off until after CVC, and champion training as well. Now, if you win personal rewards, you should get a chunk of energy, going to make it easier. If you lose, it's going to make it harder. But yeah, I think this is pretty straightforward. There's no dungeon divers overlapping with it. So what you're going to do, pretty simple, you're going to... why is this not working now? Oh, because I'm in the eraser, of course. You're going to start with Spider, and then you really want to be done. Just get Spider done nice and quick and early. You can do Spider with food, but it's not too important. Now, the champion training event, we'll put that in as a lovely pink. Here we go. So this, you could start at the same time. You can double dip if you've got a farming team. But other than that, pretty simple. You're just going to move over, and you're going to do it like this. Again, champion training actually overlaps beautifully with champion chase tournament. If you're farming in campaign, you will get some champion drops. Those are going to give you points towards champion chase. If you're farming and you're pulling mystery shards for like uncommons and commons to rank up and use as food, that's going to add up to some champion chase points. Not a crazy amount, but a little bit that will help you to do everything more efficiently. So syncing up champion training with your champion chase is lovely value. And again, there's like nothing else to spend your energy on. As I said, it's actually a very straightforward fusion. So yeah, get Ice Golem done as soon as it starts, then finish Gear Hunters, get Spider done as soon as it starts, then do champion training. After that, guess what? It's very simple. We're going to go into Fire Knight. You can do Fire Knight pretty much at any point here. Why not? And then you could finish it off, but champion training is coming in. This champion training down here, we've got a champion training event. With the tournaments, you can use books. Booking champions will give you points, although booking champions also gives you points for personal reward CVC. So it will really depend. If if you need to use your books for CVC points, if your clan is pushing hard, you're going to need to use your books over there. If you don't need to use them for personal reward CVC, great. You can use your books for the champion training tournament if you want to save on some points. The champion training event starts over here. And again, you can sort of do this at any real sort of point. I'd say you probably want to just get into it straight away. And you really want to be done this champion training event, I would say, probably by the time the Hero's Path goes live. Let's be real. And the Dragon Tournament, again, you could start this over here. The Hero's Path goes live. It's totally fine to finish the Dragon Tournament during this Hero's Path. So it should go something like that. But again, Dragon is probably going to give you reduced points for the Hero's Path. It's just not as good. It's the easiest dungeon to farm. It's usually bad for points. So you'd probably prefer to be doing this get artifacts and accessories, the gear hunters portion of the Hero's Path. You'd probably prefer to be farming that in the event dungeon or spider. Those would be probably the two ideal ones. I mean, possibly they'll put some sort of event in here. Like if it's a 2x speed or something like that, then sure, you might farm. But that's basically it. So there we go. Okay, for skipping your 10 points, where would you look? I'll put in the energy stuff then in a second. But where would you look to skip your 10 points? I do think that this Champion Chase tournament is a pretty ideal place to skip 10 fragments, if it's possible. Just pick up 5, maintain as many voids, sacreds, and primals potentially, though you'd prefer to save those, but saving up your voids, your primals, your voids and sacreds for this Hero's Path with the intention to grab all these points. The big question, of course, is what will be in this Hero's Path? Could it be SOLANAR himself? It could be. I would be quite worried that SOLANAR, considering this is a 2x voids, I'd be quite worried that SOLANAR could be the reward for winning this Champion Chase tournament. And let's be honest, how do you win a Champion Chase tournament with voids? Credit cards. That's the only way. You're looking at literally hundreds and hundreds of dollars, potentially thousands of dollars. So, yeah, again, as I said at the start, if you think that's you, then that's great. For the purposes of this video, I am hopefully, obviously, going to assume you're not doing that. Great, cool. So, yeah, I think more likely this Hero's Path is almost certain to include the soul for Noldua, and I think it's pretty likely to include the soul for SOLANAR as well, even if he's probably not going to be in there. It is possible they could put SOLANAR in this Hero's Path. It's possible. But I think certainly, it's almost definitely going to be her soul at the very least. And I think that, remember, we're in the middle of a bunch of Assassin's Creed stuff as well. I would expect that after this fusion, that they're going to basically wrap up all of the Noldua SOLANAR stuff. I would suspect and expect within this period. I think when we hit the 24th of February, we're back into Assassin's Creed stuff, and I'd be expecting to see events for Bayek in there at some point, Edward, Bassam as well. My guess would be that we'll see probably a Titan event for one of them, Deck of Fate for one, maybe another Hero's Path for another, something like that. Again, possibly big champion training tournament to give one of them instead, something. But I'd expect to see events for those assassins and possibly their souls after this, essentially. But yeah, and then we'll be going into the anniversary, and we'll be seeing new faction dropping for the raid anniversary, possibly an extremely strong fusion next month. So how deep you go in this Hero's Path is up to you, but you need to do at least some of it, because right, there's 25 fragments, you can only skip 10 maximum. I think it really does make more sense to skip them in the 2x voids and to focus on just getting the stuff in the Hero's Path. Alternatively, you could attempt to skip 10 in the Hero's Path and do this whole Champion Chase tournament. Either which way. Let me just put that there so I have a swatch. And we'll put this here. And yeah, we'll say it's up to you. Either skipping 10, I would say, in one of these. I think you could max out both of them. You could max out the Champ Chase and the Hero's Path. Certainly if you're a spender, if you've got lots of money, you're buying lots of shards. That's cool. What would you skip? I mean, you could... Honestly, like, there's not much that's that bad to skip, right? You could skip a champ training thing. Fine. You could... I mean, yeah, I don't know. There's just not that much to skip. Be honest. One thing I will say, if you leave skipping 10 to this Hero's Path at the end, if you forget to do one of these events along the way, if you're planning to do everything up until the end anyway. If you've forgotten one of them, you could still get the required fragments from the hero's path. But yeah, also something that is worth noting, again, for spenders only, they will sell you, almost always, they will sell you fragments for a fragment event that you have not got all of them for. I believe once you have at least 50 fragments, now this might change, that's not guaranteed, but generally, I think that if you have 50 fragments, they will try to sell you the rest of them a couple of days after this fragment event ends. The fragments, I think, are typically $2 each. So you could just skip 10 fragments entirely, and then you could just try to purchase them with cash, which would be, I think, about $20. I think that's right. Yeah, if you skip 50 fragments, you could purchase the legendary for $100. Hey, lucky you. But yeah, they nearly always do that. And I don't think they've ever not tried to sell you a fragment, missing fragments for a fusion. So that is something that you could do. Yeah, but I won't write this on the thing, but it's just something to bear in mind if you are a spender. Yeah, I don't think it's probably going to be necessary, but it's something to bear in mind if you... I don't know, it may be the smart thing if you've got $50. Rather than spending a bunch of shards doing the hero's path, you could just spend the $50 buying those fragments and save all your shards, because, I mean, $50 doesn't actually get you that many shards, really. I have a really good stockpile of shards ready for any Assassin's Creed events. Probably wouldn't bother. I mean, that gets a bit too money focused for me. For me, I'd rather just play the game, to be honest. Try to do it without spending. It would be my preference, but there you are. Whatever. That's it. Right. We don't know for sure what's in the hero's path. There'll probably be obviously some sort of 15x progressive event summons, but it's likely to be not that useful. I think the real question is where will Solanar pop up? If he isn't the reward for the Champion Chase tournament, I mean, there is a chance he shows up in the hero's path. It could happen. Alternatively, he might be just in a 50. I mean, I could see that, him being in the reward for Champion Chase, and then they put him in a 15x during this hero's path. That is something that could happen. I mean, we'll see, right? We'll see. But she's good without him. Her soul is nice. Funny enough, it sort of depends. If you don't have Solanar, she's good, but she doesn't necessarily need the soul. If you do have Solanar, the 5-star soul gives her accuracy, but she doesn't need accuracy if Solanar is there. So I don't think she's too urgent to get a soul for. And she's the sort of champion you'd be pretty happy just buying the 1, 2 or 3-star soul, or eventually pulling like a 3-star soul for the HP and the defense, the survivability. Obviously, the 5-star makes her better, sure. But if you want a min-max, then yeah, obviously you'd want a 5 and ultimately a 6-star soul for her. But you could probably get away fairly budget with this champion, I would think. So that's it. Lots of advice here. Give me your thoughts. Remember, I will be streaming tomorrow for Personal Words CVC. We can talk about it more then. Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens with the actual summon events. But I'd be looking to skip 10, probably in one of them. And pick your poison, right? Pick your poison. It depends how many shards you've got saved up and how many fusions you've got saved up, how easy Champion Chase is for you, and gambling a bit on what we expect from that hero's path. So yeah, that's it. That's all I've got. I think she's well worth it. I think it's actually pretty simple. Certainly in terms of how you spend energy, it's very simple. So basically, start an Ice Golem at the start, but then focus on... So let's put this in as its own thing. So energy path, start an Ice Golem. CVC starts. Just go Gear Hunters for CVC. Then you're coming up to Spider Tournament. Get Spider Tournament done. Get Champion Training. Get that done. Then you're down to Fire Knight. Get that done. You're down to Champion Training. Get that done. You're down up to Dragon. Get that done. And then you're down to the Hero's Path and hopefully get that done. That's your sort of energy path. It's a little bit tight, as you can see here at the ends. Like, that's not long to do Dragon. So your Dragon might like overlap slightly into the Hero's Path. And then you just join back up over there as you will. But that's generally your sort of energy. And like this Spider thing is a bit short. So again, that Spider might go a bit longer. The Ice Golem might go a bit longer. It's okay if those go a little bit over. But that's your broad gist for stuff. So hope it helps. Thanks for watching. Good luck. I'll see you tomorrow for Personal Word CVC. Goodbye.